Joy here. It's one day before Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to all of you. I bet almost everybody who watches me is a mother. Even if you're not a mother of human beings, I bet you're a mother of puppies or kitties or something super cute. All right, why am I sitting here at this table? I spent a long time yesterday making a brand new video for you. I was going to show you the difference between, let me put it over here, the Crescendo jeans pattern and the one that I already put away called the Jalie Eleonore pull-up jeans. This is the Crescendo pull-up jeans. This is the fabric I showed you in my last video that I used. It's got stretch. I thought it had 20% stretch, but it doesn't. It really only has 10% stretch. I mean, I pulled it pretty hard to get it to go 1 inch past 5 inches. I had to pull it pretty hard. So I thought, oh, well, that's stretchy enough. It's not. I finished the Eleonore jeans. I can wear them. They're fine, but they would have been a whole lot better if this really did have 20% stretch. I thought it did until I looked it up at Fabric Mart Fabrics where I bought it, and I didn't have enough of it left to cut out the Crescendo jeans, so I was going to buy some more of it. And they said that it only had 10% stretch. And the Crescendo jean pattern says you need 25% stretch. So here's a news bulletin for you, my friends. There is no such fabric on the planet that has 25% stretch in a denim or a twill. If you can find it, please let me know. So I went to the Crescendo jeans Love Notions, and you know they always have these little fake people that you can talk to. I guess it's AI or something. And so I said, where on earth am I supposed to find fabric to make your Crescendo jeans with 25% stretch? And actually, the little automatic engine or whatever you call him, they even have names, isn't that crazy? He said, oh, you really just need 20% stretch. Well, if you really just need 20% stretch, why doesn't it say that? So then I said, where on the planet do you find fabric with 20% stretch? And so the little guy gave me 2 places to go. One, Fabric Mart Fabrics. Well, I've already been to Fabric Mart Fabrics. I know they don't have 25% stretch. In every single thing I looked at, most of them were 10%, 15% stretch. I finally found one piece was marked down from $25 a yard, I think, to $10 a yard. And it supposedly has, it's got a funny name. What was its funny name? Oh. White cloud, fluffy white cloud, something like that. Some kind of a twill. And it was the only one on there that had 20% stretch. I'll have to look it up and tell you for sure, but I just can't imagine that it had 25%. And so it was called a stretch twill, right? So I checked all the other stretch twills, which this is, and they only had 10%, 15% at the most. Most of them just 10%. And then on all the other companies, I checked all the other companies, and most of them would say slight stretch. So I don't know. Good luck finding 25% stretch in a twill. I know it exists because you can buy garments already made at the store and they stretch across the room. They're wonderful. Look at the stretch in this thing. Of course, this isn't a denim or a twill. The white pair that everything is about, that I've been talking to you in the last video, in this video, is because I bought a pair of white jeans, very, very stretchy, that have embroidery on them. So I'm trying to duplicate that and make white jeans with embroidery on them. Why when I already have a pair? I don't know. You know my doctor said to me that to prevent dementia and you needed to keep learning things. And I told him, well, I sew and I quilt. And he said, well, you need to get a new pattern. So it's my medication, really. You know, I wonder if I could get Medicare to pay for it. I doubt it. But he said I need a new pattern. So that's what I'm trying to do. Find a pattern, number one, that I really like. Now, the Jalie Eleonore is a little too fitted. The ones that I bought at Cracker Barrel are not that fitted. And I don't want them. It's more like a legging almost because they're so fitted. I showed them to you. I don't know if I showed them to you in my last video all done or in the video that I made yesterday that I can't finish. Why can't I finish it? Because I was going to cut it out. I have it already. This isn't it. It's one of those paste all the papers together type of patterns. And I was going to cut it out. I cut the Jalie Eleonore out of this much fabric because I could actually put the two patterns next to each other. Not the Crescendo. The Crescendo is wide like this is. This isn't the Crescendo, this isn't the Jalie. This is a whole new thing. I decided that I was going to treat this like a woven because it only has, what did 15%? What did they say? What did I just tell you how much stretch this had? 10%? No. Yeah. Fabric Mart Fabric says this has 10% stretch. So as far as I'm concerned, it's a woven. So I thought, I'm going to look in my duplicate pattern box and see if I have any pant patterns. So I found 4 of them. I found Simplicity 8848. These are old. I found Simplicity 4552. I found See and Sew. I actually opened this one up and cut it out. See and Sew 5620 and 5687 Simplicity. Now I took this one out and cut it out, and I decided that I didn't like the bottom of the leg. It was wide. It was just, and you know, there's wide leg pants now, but I just didn't want it that wide. So I wasn't happy with something about that pattern. I'm not sure what it was. Anyway, I stuck it all back in the envelope. I decided I wasn't happy with this one because it had too wide. Did you know that the patterns always tell you how wide the bottom of the skirt or the bottom of the dress or the bottom of the pants are going to be finished? Yeah, you look down here and it says length finished, width, lower edge, pants 19 inches. Well, I didn't want my hem to be 19 inches wide. So I looked at this one. I thought, well, how wide is it? Well, now for one thing, this is a cropped pant. I don't wear crop pants because I don't have pretty ankles. So this one's a crop pant, but I figured I could lengthen it. So this one says that the leg width, get this, the leg width in my size is 22.5 inches. I don't want it that big. This one is another cropped one. The bottom of it is 26 inches. We're getting into wide leg pants here. Now, why did I choose these for? I have more. Why did I choose these? Because they're all elastic waist. So this one, let's see how big it is. This one says that the bottom of it, finished width of A leg width is 17 inches. So that's what I have laying here on the table, 5687 Simplicity. It goes all the way to the floor. It has all the way pant length, and then it has the capri length. And so you go by view A, the pants, and that's how wide it is. So I just put this out here last night. I can't cut it out of this. This is for woven fabric. So I've decided I'm going to make a pink outfit. Remember my pink fabric? Look at the pink outfit. Remember I showed you, didn't I show you the one with the pleat? Hold on, I'll show you that one because it's gorgeous. There's a picture somewhere. I'm going to try to duplicate it. But look at that. This is a Vogue pattern. Current Vogue pattern. 2118. I think I own 1 or 2 Vogue patterns, and I'm not even sure I ever made them. But I can make this with my SureFit designs. And I want to do that because I just love. The thing now, evidently, is the same color the whole way up and down. That's the most slimming. Same color all the way up and down. And the hem of the skirt needs to be narrower than your hips. Remember I told you that? Very important. Now I have a picture of the front of it somewhere, but let me see if I've got the line drawings here. Yes. So the front of it has pockets and buttons all the way up and down. And I know this is far away and you can't see it, but go online, look up Vogue 2118 and you can stare at it all you want. I have a picture of the front somewhere. But I've decided I'm going to make the pants, maybe the skirt, and I'm going to use that pretty pink fabric that I bought, if I have enough of it, and I'm going to make 2 pieces, pink and pink. Because I just think that would be so fun. So there's a skirt here, there's pants here, there's a really cute top with darts in it, and a little jacket too. So I think this is going to be my plaything. Let me see if it says you can use wovens, because that's what I've got. Laundered cottons, batik, chambray, lightweight denim, challis, crepe. It's everything I have. So I think this is what I'm going to play with today. So this is a few minutes later. I've changed everything. Forget the pants for now. I've decided to use a simpler pattern. I showed you the purple one, the Vogue that I really like. Well, I decided to use what I have available to me here. The pattern that I showed you, the simplicity that I did have the pants out of, it's supposed to have a skirt inside it. The skirt is missing. I usually don't do that with my patterns. I've never had that happen before. I always put the pattern back, so I'm just really surprised that the skirt pattern's missing. But I found another one exactly like it here in my duplicate stash. Now it doesn't matter if I don't like how wide the pants are around the bottom, that doesn't matter. Now I'm making the skirt. So this is Simplicity 4552. It says I need the size 18. Oh, good gravy. For a 42 hip. It says I need 1 1/8 yard. So that's a whole lot better than needing over 2 yards for pants. You can use a whole lot less yardage. Let's get rid of this on the table. You can use a whole lot less yardage for a skirt than you can for pants. Why is that? Because skirts don't have a crotch. Now this pattern is extremely simplified in that, it's got a cute dress pattern in it too, in that I can't even find a skirt. It's on the ironing board. This pattern, and it happens sometimes in patterns, it has one pattern piece. It's the same for the front and the back. Now I'm not the same in the front and the back, and you probably aren't either, but I can adjust that. I will just measure around, and if I need more in the back than the front, I'll simply add to the side seams in the back and not in the front. Now, I encountered problem number, what are we up to today? Well, for this pattern, the first problem, when I make a skirt, I want a slip in it. And I don't want a slip that's a separate slip, because I don't want 2 bands around my waist. I only want 1 around my waist. And I don't have any slip fabric here, so my lightning fast mind, oh my gosh, if you want something in one day, oh, I just adore Amazon for that. So I thought, why can't I just buy a real slip? I went to Amazon and I found a set of 3 skirts. One is nude, one is black, and one is white, and they're all knee length, because I only need it to my knees. Past my knees, I don't need a slip, because I don't sit on that part. You understand? And I don't like the slip to show in the crack. Somebody said, oh, it's pretty if it shows in the crack. Well, you wear yours like that. I don't want my slip to stick out the crack of my skirt. And this one slit like up to the knee. So I just ordered those 3 slips. They're like 10 bucks a piece. Somebody said half slips are out now. Go to Amazon and look up half slips. There's like 5,000 of them there. So that way I'll have the fabric, you see? And I'll just cut the band off the top if I need to, and I will sew it into the top of this. And then I'll just use 1 piece of elastic for both of them. See, wasn't that smart? And I'm going to use the pink. Now that I'm going to use this, I'm going to have enough for a top and a bottom in the same color. And so I will be current. Pink from shoulder to ankle. This has a really cute top in it and a real cute little jacket. I might do a three-piece and do the jacket out of pink and the skirt out of pink, and then use that other pretty fabric, that challis that I got for the little sleeveless tank underneath it. We shall see. You'll see it right away, but it's probably going to be a while for me. I don't know what I told you last. I've been having conversations with my husband about batteries, you know, how all the batteries in the RV, I probably didn't tell you in this video, but all the batteries in the RV, and there's 10 of them, all died because of a storm here. So he keeps asking me these questions about batteries, which of course I know nothing about. So I've decided to make a pink dress with the pretty print that has this pink in it. The pink is here somewhere. I'm gonna make a pink dress, and then I'm gonna make a jacket out of that pretty challis that matches the pink. So I'm just gonna tell you what I did so far. I chose the 36 bust, which is my upper bust. It said to make a size 14. I measured the size 14 to see where center to my shoulder point was. It turns out that that came out just perfect at the size 16. Why is that? Because this particular pattern, they bring it in from your shoulder, so it comes in, you know, like to here. It's not out to your shoulder tip, it's like in here. So I don't care about that. I want mine out to my shoulder because I don't want my bra strap to show. So I decided to use the 16. Then, this evidently was made for a 12-year-old because I had to move the bust dart down 1 3/4 inches. So what you do there is you just cut a rectangle around it and move it down. Easy. Then I pinned it together at the side seams. I've cut the 16 the whole way. Pinned it together at the side seams. Jerry just came up here to ask me about batteries again. So I took my blouse off and tried it on, and he measured me from the center of the paper to the center of me. And so center front is 1 inch away from me. So I'm going to do a 1 inch full bust adjustment. When I do that, it's going to add 1 inch in the entire length from here down on this dress, which I need. 1 inch on the right and 1 inch on the left, because this is half a pattern. In the back, he said it came to my center back already, which is amazing. I don't know why the back fits me, but the front doesn't. I guess because of the belly and the boobs, you know. So what pattern am I doing? I'm doing Simplicity 4552. Let me show you the picture, if I can find it. Here it is. Here's the picture. I'll hold it up close. That's it. So I'm going to make, see the white dress? Mine's going to be pink, and it's going to be to my ankles. And see the little jacket? Let me show you the fabric for it. I can make more than one thing out of this. I have plenty of it. So this will probably be a really pretty blouse, a cowl neck top. I want this to be a cowl neck blouse. It's gorgeous challis. But it's going to be the jacket because it matches the pink perfect. That's going to be the jacket because it matches the pink perfect. And that's going to be the jacket right there. No buttons, no zippers, just a simple kimono. And it'll be so pretty because it's very, very drapey. Oh, I'm so excited. So if you've forgotten how to do FBA, remember I said it was 1 inch. You can see I'm using my cutting board for my inches. You cut it all the way up to the apex, over to the armhole, to the seam allowance, jump over the seam allowance and cut it into the seam allowance. So you have a hinge right here on the seam allowance. And then you cut the bust dart open, if there is one. If there isn't one, you make one. And cut it up here to the apex. Here's my apex. The end of the bust dart is right here now. So we're ignoring the bust dart tip. And we're working with the apex tip. Here's me, I'm right here, okay? So we're gonna redraw a new bust dart using this point, and then we're gonna draw toward this point, but make it 1.5 inches away. Okay, we'll fill all that in with paper. My husband's gonna call me any minute. He's loading the trailer and then we've got to go. But I wanted to show you that just in case you forgot. This is gonna drop a little bit, but I've got to add 10 inches to that anyway because I want to make it to the floor. Okay? How you doing, FBA, my friends? Good morning. It is Monday, May 12th already. I think the last time I talked to you was a couple days ago, and I was going to make a pattern, a brand new pattern to use for my new material. And I wanted to use the pink. Now, I don't remember what clip I made for you last, so if this is repetition, I'm sorry. So I wanted it to be pink, and I was going to make a little jacket to go over it. But I decided, before I made it pink, I should make it out of something else, a muslin. Well, my muslin turned out to be even prettier than the pink one. You remember this fabric that I purchased? It is a dress now. I just now cut down the armholes. I think I had told you that I decided to use the size 16 shoulder. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Why did I do that? Because when I measured from center front to my shoulder tip, the size 16 measured right. But this pattern isn't made to go all the way to your shoulder tip. And once I got it made and put it on, I saw that this isn't going to look good. This doesn't look good. Plus, it's only a 3/8 inch seam allowance there. And I used a 5/8 inch. You have to pay attention to that. Sometimes the pattern will give you a different seam allowance than the rest of the pattern. So here in the armhole and here in the neck, because they're going to do a fold over binding, it's 3/8 inch. So know your seam allowances. Make a big red circle around it if you need to. So I started out with the size 18 down here. Now I'm at, what did this start at? Did this start at size 10? Yeah, this starts at size 10. So 10, 12, 14, and then I've cut off most of the 16 here, then I've gone out 16, 16 at the hip, then I've got in, and I'm narrower than the size 14. I'm in past the 12 down here. Remember, I said the bottom of your pattern should be narrower than your hips. And it seems real crazy when you're cutting. I don't know if you can see that clearly, but look at the seam line. It's just crazy. But if you look at it closely, you can see that it's shaped just like me. In under the arm, out at the bust, out at the belly, out at the hip, and back in for my legs and the ankles. Can you tell? Can you tell? So it goes down, down, down. If you look at the straight line here, the only straight line left is the 10. So if I followed the 10, we would be way different than we are with my final line. I have put the sway back. I have put the round back. I have put an FBA. Now, my lightning fast mind gets clogged up sometimes. And I've done this before. I think I did it recently. When you do the FBA, you end up with the extra inch. Philly, I think Philly gets 3 inches. And you double that because this is half your pattern. You got 1/2 here and 1/2 here. Okay, so that's 2 inches. So I always think, well, since I've added 2 inches on this piece, I should add some on this piece. And I did. And then I cut it all off. Why does the back fit me? I don't know, but it does. Now right here, it's a 10, 12, 14, 16. It's a 16 right here. It's a 14 up here, and then it comes way, way, way back in to the 12 down at the bottom. That's the back. Now, how did I know how to make these side seams like that? The only way you can know is to make a test garment. Now, if you start out with everything bigger, you can do like I have done and keep cutting more off and cutting more off and cutting more off. But if you start out with too small a one, you're up a creek and you got to start over. Or make it for somebody that's skinnier than you are. So I have it all done and ready for bindings and hems, except for where I cut the neckline and the armholes down to the size 14. I know, it's just nuts. Because if you look at the pattern, it says I need to wear an 18. It says make a size 18. But all of this up here is a size 14. You know, I talk about this in everything I make because everything I make has the same exact issues. And the issue is not the pattern, it's me. This is going to make the entire dress that goes to my ankles. And look at how much I have left because Fabric Mart Fabrics cuts so much extra fabric. Look at that. So I have enough easily for another really nice top. So Fabric Mart Fabrics is really, really nice. I did have a bizarre phone call from them this morning. I think I told you that I had to stop making my last video showing you the difference between the two different pull-up jeans because I couldn't find any fabric anywhere that was stretchy enough. So I found one piece, Fabric Mart Fabrics, paid for it, ordered it, told them to mail it to me. They called me 8 o'clock this morning and said, "We just called to tell you you can come pick up your fabric now." They're in Pennsylvania. I'm in Oklahoma. I said, "I don't know where you got the idea of going to come pick that fabric up." "Oh, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. It says to ship it." Yeah. I know, probably a new girl. I started asking her about stretch and if they had any more twills in there that would stretch, and everything I asked her, she had to ask somebody else, so surely she was new. And finally, somebody else came to the phone and she said, "What we have is online. It's really hard to find fabric like that, and we only have it if we have it." So I'm like, thank you very much. Goodbye. So I'm going to finish putting this together. I like it so much. The only thing nicer would be if it had pockets, and you know that's real easy to do. And when I get it all done, I have to have Jerry help me hem it because somehow the back ended up like a ½ inch longer than the front. I added 11 inches to the bottom. I decided I wanted it. This just goes under your knee. And so I just took a big fat ruler and I measured 11 inches down and drew a line and cut it on both pieces. Well, for some reason, the back ended up a ½ inch longer than the front. I don't know. Things happen. If you want to learn how to make your own clothes, I'm telling you, you have got to be patient. I've sewn for years and years and years and years and years. I've made hundreds of garments. And still, this one is taking me hours and hours to fit the way I want it to fit. I start out making it a little bigger, and then I just keep pinching and pinning and pinching and pinning and pinching and pinning, and I am just shocked when I see what I end up with. If I had drawn this pattern using my SureFit designs, I would have made facings for the armholes and the neck. But this one says to cut out these little strips and make bindings. So that's what I'm going to do. I wonder if you, yeah, you cut these on the bias. Isn't that funny? Oh gosh, I hate to waste all my fabric doing that. Ooh. I don't want to waste all my brand new piece of fabric, even though there's plenty, but I want to cut something else out of it. And if you cut this on the bias, it's going to take quite a bit. See, these are the things you can think about. So do I want to do it this way, or do I want to make a facing? Making facings is very easy. You simply put a piece of paper on top of what you're going to face and draw the facing. This is the back and it will just be a little curve going from here to here. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut facings because I imagine they're going to want you to stretch that a little bit, but I don't need to stretch it, I don't think. It fits me pretty good. I just don't want to waste my material. I really, really like this. This was such a cute piece of fabric and I didn't know what I was going to do with it. And then I decided to turn it into my muslin, my test garment, and I just love it. It is so cute. So I'll think on that a little more. Maybe I'll just face the neck. I have already tucked the back neck and I've tucked the front neck. Just like this. Took a tuck. Because they always get this. I made this and you can see how this fits me. Round back, sway back, bust darts. Yeah, neck that doesn't gape. Back, front. When you make your own clothes, they fit. When you buy clothes, sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. I'll be back. Just in case you want to watch me make a facing, I'll let you. Start out with a straight side somewhere. It needs to be about 2.5 inches deep. This is a narrow shoulder up here. So I don't want it to be really wide. I think the whole shoulder is not even 2.5 inches. So let's see how wide we want to make that. Yeah, the whole shoulder is 3 inches. So I'll make it 2 inches. How about that? Right. So get you some weights and slap them down there. Get you a curve. Gotta have a curve. Now this house is different than my other house. Now that I know we're not going to sell it, at least for a while, I'm going to start bringing a lot of my stuff back here. Crazy, I know. Let me get a pencil. You want to draw with a pencil because you can erase a pencil. This always has to be a 90 degree. Here at the front, center front has to be 90 degrees. If I had my SureFit designs here, I would totally make this whole pattern with my SureFit designs. What you have to know, make it so it stays, y'all. Try some tape. Tape is better. Removable tape, and then put the weights on top of that because I seem to keep moving everything. Yes, you always want a 90 degree here. Center front, center back, 90 degree. And if I had my SureFit designs, I would definitely use it. But, started to say, what you have to know is how much ease you like. This pattern, and let's talk about which pattern we're making again. We're making 4552 right now. The dress right here. I lengthened it to the ankle. This dress has 5.5 inches of ease. 5.5. Now, I don't know, some people might like 5.5, but I don't look good in 5.5 inches of ease because I already have my own ease that's bigger than that. That moved. And this is where it has 3/8 inch seam allowance. Now remember that. My facing that I'm making for this, now that isn't right either. Why is my line so far off? Oh, because I'm out past the line, that's why. I had to redraw the curve, so that's actually right. Be very sure, when I get this done, I'll put it up against the actual garment. All right, there's the shoulder. There's my front curve. Very nice. My front curve has a little tuck. Has a little tuck in it. Right here. I crossed this over 1/2 inch right here, down to the apex. And, oh my goodness, it fits me so nice because I did that. Because I'm little on the top. Now we're just going to draw 2 inches, 2 inches, 2 inches. 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 All right? And then we're gonna write on here in something that doesn't disappear. Front neck facing. Front neck facing. And it is Simplicity 4552. Okay? Front neck facing, cut this on the fold. That's the fold. F-O-L-D, 3/8 inch. 3/8 inch, so important. And I have some curves at my other house. I don't think I have them here. No, I don't have them here. 3/8 inch. 3/8 inch. 3/8 inch. 3/8. 3/8. 3/8. 3/8. Very important, because if I make this again 10 years from now, I'll forget that was 3/8 inch for sure. So now we're going to draw this curve down here. Line it up as good as you can. There you go. Ah, this is nice. When you use SureFit Designs pattern making system, you'll do a lot of facings. Okay, so there's my whole facing, all drawn. Cut it out. So this is my front. You can see this gigantic dart I have here now. Gigantic. How wide is this dart? Let me get a ruler. I'm going to have to fix my wall all back up. It is such a mess in here. But you know, if you're moving, you don't care if everything's a mess. If you're not moving, this dart is 4 1/4 inches wide. I know. And the FBA, the extra that I added, is exactly 1 inch. Here it is. My FBA is from here. I don't know if you can see this very good because it's pink. But that's the addition, and it goes the whole way down. Very good. So that's ready. Now, we're going to make one for the back. So we're going to, I just throw everything on the floor now. I don't have any extra tables in here. I'm going to have to get some extra tables. I'm going to need some money, y'all. Would you please watch my videos and watch some of the commercials? Oh, I know the commercials are horrid. That Dr. Gundry guy. Oh my goodness. And all these people that can't seem to go to the bathroom. Good grief. Seems to be an epidemic. A world epidemic. The way they talk about it constantly. Keep in mind, my friends, I do not choose the commercials on my channel. If I chose the commercials, it would be Fabric Mart Fabric, Missouri Star Quilt Company. Oh yes, it certainly would. Way Whack. These places you could find some buttons and some zippers and some fabric and some patterns. All right, I'm going to do the back. You get the idea. I'll come back and I'll show it to you after a while. What do you think? Trying it on for you. I have to do something. Now, I highly do not recommend what I'm about to go do. You will not find it in any book anywhere. But desperate times call for desperate measures. You see, the bottom of the dress is not hemmed. I have one side of me that's a ½ inch different from the other side. Now, I only have one person here who can help me, and that's my husband. My husband cannot get down on the floor. And even if I get up on a step stool, he can't get to me. So what we're going to do is we're going to do an experiment, and I'm going to take you with me. I'm not going to take my lights over there, so hopefully it'll show up okay. But what is going on is, did I tell you that the batteries all went dead in our RV? 10 batteries, all dead. Because of a storm we had here. And we have a great big generator that comes on when the power goes off. But somehow an RV needs more than the power to stay on. When the power goes off, it takes a few seconds for the generator to come on, and somewhere in that little amount of time, the RV got mixed up and all the batteries died, and I don't know. Ugh, anyway, so why are you telling us that? Because we have to get the batteries out of the RV. Jerry can't lift them and I can't lift them. The two of us together can't lift half of them. So he thought maybe he could slide them out if he had a level surface at the same height. You know, like if you could get a table up to the RV batteries so they're level, and then just slide them out, see. So he bought a table. What was it? Not Tractor Supply. I always say Tractor Supply and it's not. I don't have a slip on, so it's grabbing my hips. I'll put one on. It'll come to me in the middle of the night. I finished the neck. I showed you how to draw the facing. I don't have the facings on the arms yet, but I faced the neck and it came out just fine. Remember, they wanted to do a binding, like you do quilt edge, and I didn't want to do that, so I put a facing and it turned out just fine. So anyway, he bought this real heavy-duty table that can hold 1,000 pounds, and it's electric. Well, how can it be electric? I don't know. Somehow it goes up and down. I haven't seen it yet. It's got wheels on the bottom and it can go up and down by itself. So I'm going to go over there and get on that. And then he's going to raise me up in the air, and then he's going to mark the bottom of this dress for me so I can hem it up. You got to laugh to keep from crying. You want to come with me? Of course you do. So here we are in our other barn. Remember, we're at our other house in Kingston. And this is the thing. So first I've seen it. This is the thing. I'm going to stand on it. Look at that. It looks kind of big and safe. I've got to take my shoes off because my feet are swollen. So I'm going to stand on this, and then you're going to jack me up.
Where are we going first?
Right here. This is a perfect place. Unless you want to roll me around somewhere.
No, not really.
Where do you want to stand to measure me? You're measuring up from the floor to just someplace. I don't care where.
Hold on.
What are you going to do?
Raise you up.
Look at that. It's not electric. What do you call that?
Hydraulic.
It's hydraulic.
Let me lock the wheels before we do that.
You can take a hydraulic ride. I suggest you get one of these for your sewing room. I don't know what he's doing. And yes, my feet are swollen. I have edema in my feet. That's why you see me never ever wearing shoes. Okay, so we locked the wheel, so now we can't roll around. That's probably a good idea. When I write my book, I'll put that in it. Now we're going to lift me up some more. It's very steady. It's not wiggly at all. How much was this?
$369.
$369 at your local, what was the name of the store?
Harbor Freight.
Harbor Freight. It has a slit in the side, which I'm going to sew closed down to this pink mark, but I haven't done it yet. See, because then it will be under my slip. So I don't know if I'm going to have this a ½ inch, a quarter inch, an inch, or what. I'm just going to have him make even marks all the way around the bottom. It can be an inch, 2 inches, whatever, just so he goes all the way around me. Then, you know, like they do at the tailor shop, they take that chop and just go whack, 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 whack. We're going to do that. What's the name of this tailor shop in case I want to recommend it to someone?
We don't hand out names.
He doesn't hand out names. You're probably not going to get much business.
I don't want any.
Pick a measurement. I don't care if it's 3 inches, 2 inches, just pick a measurement. Straight up from the tabletop. And I'm having him mark it with a pink friction pen.
Did you quit breathing and just?
Well, I have to breathe. He just said, would you quit breathing? How can I quit breathing?
Well,
I'll die. Woman quits breathing and falls off elevated table. What do you think?
I'm gonna let you down now.
Okay, we're gonna hydraulic put me down. Let me hold on to your shoulder or something, your head.
I'll go very slowly.
Oh, that's easy. Easy peasy. All right. That's cool. I love one of these. I
Get
can't
off yet.
always come over here to do this. Awesome. How much do I owe you? Nothing. I love this shop. Let's go back to the sewing room. Okay, so we're going back to the house from the tailor shop, which is my husband's barn. Now you see the garage door is open, and next to it is a bunch of stuff I ordered from Sam's. But see that window up at the top? That's what used to be the attic. And that's where we built that room upstairs that you see me in all the time. That's my sewing room. We had that one window put in, and the room upstairs was actually built from that window. The air conditioner people came in there, the builder people came in there, everybody came in that window. There was a big scaffolding outside. The long arm came in that window. I actually finished it just a few minutes ago. This is Wednesday now. Oh my goodness. I've had the hardest time getting this video done, which I know you've been watching it thinking it's so chopped up. What on earth? It's here, there, and everywhere. I'm sorry. My life has been like that since we got back here and we found the storm damage. And so we're constantly having to have somebody come out, or we're having to go somewhere. It's made it hard for me to just make you a video, okay? But you know, if I'm here, I'm gonna sew, or I'm gonna quilt, or I'm gonna something. And I did, but it's just been days and days. So I got this done. I like it very much. But there's two things I will do different on the next one I make. I don't like 5.5 to 6 inches of ease. I kept taking it in, taking it in, taking it in. Well, that creates a real big problem. The problem being is this goes on over your head, and you have all this fabric from your feet up to here to pull down over your body. That's why it has so much ease. And so I kept taking it out, taking it out. Oh, now I just have to pull, 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 pop it down. I got it on. I don't know if I'll ever get it off. So, if I prefer a more fitted garment, that means I'm going to have to put a zipper in the back. I like to unzip the dress, put it on from my feet up, have Jerry zip it up. When I get home, have Jerry unzip it, drop it to the ground, and step out of it. I don't like pull over your head unless it's a knit garment. This doesn't stretch. This is a woven. It doesn't stretch at all. When I do the next version, which will be the pink, remember the pink? The one I have on is the muslin, right? The test garment. This will be the next one. This will have a zipper in the back. It will have a, I'm going to make a little jacket to go over it, and that one will have waist darts. See how I need waist darts? How much better that would be in the back? It would look so much nicer and still fit me in the front. But I have to have a zipper to do that. Yes, I know you could put elastic back here, but to me that doesn't look good. I don't like the look of it. So I'm not going to do that. This is done. I'm leaving it like it is. Nobody is ever going to come up to me and say, you know, if you'd put a zipper in that, you could have had waist darts in the back. I might do that to someone else, but nobody's going to do it to me. Maybe Philly would. So this is it. You know the pattern. It's either in the title or it's in the description box below. If you want to make it, remember, number one, it's an ancient pattern. It probably doesn't even exist anymore. But if it does, pay attention to the difference. If it has a zipper or if it doesn't, and how much ease it's going to have. Okay? If you're a person, you like slinky material and you like a lot of ease, hey, beautiful. Make that. I need to make something like that, and I might. I have a couple dresses like that have real slinky material, and they can have more ease in them for sure. And usually they're knits, and they stretch and you can get them over your head anyway. What do you think? Let me know. I have to go. I hurt my hip again today. I've been walking. Jerry said, "You're walking crooked again." I said, "I know." I was fine. I was perfectly fine all morning. I was perfectly fine yesterday, the day before, and I just made some little move. I don't know what it was. I cleaned up the guest room today, dusted it, made the bed, vacuumed, did some laundry, changed the kitchen table and the chairs. I was just around like a little busy beaver, plus trying to finish this dress. And then I just went over and I thought, I need to take my laptop upstairs. And so I just reached over to get my laptop and my hip went out. My physical therapist told me that even though my pain is up here, it's still considered hip pain. So isn't that wonderful to know? I've got to let you go. I have so many things I still have to do. My grandson, Boo Bear, remember my grandson Boo Bear, and his son that I call Pumpkin Pants, they're coming here. They're coming here. He called and he said, "I miss you, Grandma. I miss you, Papa." And I said, "Oh my goodness, John, I wish you didn't live so far away." And I told him what happened with the RV and the batteries and everything. And he actually, a few years ago, worked for an RV company. And he actually did the battery job 3 times while he worked there. He said, "Grandma, I totally know everything to do with that." He said, "I am going to come. If you can wait until next weekend," which is this coming weekend, "I will come up there." So I have to get ready for that. Everyone knows that. I won't sew while they're here. When they come, I have to figure out things to do that are fun for a 6-year-old boy. Are you 6 when you're in 1st grade? I think that's right. I hadn't seen him in a long time. So since I have such extinguished company coming day after tomorrow, you're probably not going to see me until sometime next week. So, love y'all. Leave me a comment because it helps my channel. Bye for now.